insight into like what harmonies really were. So like you'd hit those 3-4 part harmonies, and it was just like, it was just mind blowing. Like I'd look back and I'm like, wow, like that just, it shakes you. It makes you shiver.
Yeah, Tanner was a big acapella guy. I know,
jazz,
dude. I joined vocal jazz because it was like during the time when like Glee was out, Pitch Perfect, and I was like, this is the cool thing to do.
Tell me there are videos of you guys.
There are
lots of
there
videos. I don't want to show those yet, but maybe one.
Early acapella.
I feel like Nick is gaining so much.
The intersection of good drinks, good music, and good times. This is Hops and Spirits Bar Conversations.
As we close out Whiskey Weeks 2023, we have a fun group for y'all. They, I believe, started out in Canada. Now they're down in Arizona. I think they've got a fun story to share with us. And please welcome in 3 of the guys that make up the Tanner Olsen Band. We got Tanner, Graeme, and Nick. Guys, welcome in.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Nick, are you just going to be quiet?
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm Tanner.
And for those watching, you know, all 3 are on the screen. Tanner's in the middle, Graham's on his left, Nick's on his right. And you know, since this is Bar Conversations, we're in Whiskey Weeks. You know, because down here in the good old U.S., it's National Bourbon Heritage Month. You guys drinking anything good tonight?
We are actually.
We've got a spicy combination for you guys. So I don't know if anyone else is doing this, but we're drinking Coronas. You drink the neck down, you fill it up with Di Serono. Tastes like a Dr. Pepper.
Ooh.
Di Serono.
I like it. See, I decided to go a little bit stronger than that. A little barrel rye. It's a mix of Canadian rye, Indiana, Tennessee, and Kentucky. So quite the combo, which I think is exactly fitting for y'all.
That's perfect.
Now, are you usually a Corona drinker? Do you guys mix in bourbon or tequila or anything else?
I think it's like the whiskey thing you brought up earlier. It's like before kind of every show, we're honey jack kind of guys. So we'll take a shot of honey jack before we get up on that stage. Just,
or 3.
Yeah,
or
a
a couple.
3.
I mean, we'll drink anything really.
Yeah, whatever's available, but whiskey's our go-to if we could.
Now, are any of you collectors? In the sense that your bourbon collection is growing and growing like mine?
Nah, unfortunately, no.
We're musicians.
Yeah, we're musicians.
I'm not that cultured
yet.
Well, put it in your rider. That way you can add like a bottle every couple places.
Yeah. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. We'll see.
I don't think it would last that long.
Well, that's fair too. That seems to be fitting. Now, Tanner, I know you and I believe Graeme grew up in Canada. Nick, did you also grow up in Canada, or were you a late addition?
I was a Canada boy.
Yeah.
Now, all 3 of you grew up in Canada. How are you guys based in? Are you based in Arizona now?
Well, yeah. So we kind of all grew up different parts of British Columbia. Graeme and I are Chilliwack, born and raised, kind of small farm town. The rest of the boys were kind of more Vancouver, right in the city.
City guys.
Yeah, we came together, and then we just recently kind of got signed to a label down Arizona-based. So kind of brought our music journey down there.
Yeah, kind of float around between now the Vancouver, Arizona, Nashville kind of thing, which
That's
is cool.
quite a loop. It's quite a loop.
Maybe
a lot of travel
Toronto on the way back up too.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Now, you know, obviously growing up in Canada, I know a couple city boys, a couple country boys. What music did you guys grow up on?
That's actually kind of part of our, TOB. It's what we call ourselves. It's kind of our sound. You know, I was straight up old school, Alan Jackson, sort of country music growing up, doing that stuff in the river parties and such.
I definitely listen to more like rock, like Foo Fighters, Rise Against. There was like a big pop punk thing in Canada going on in the 2010s, which was cool. I was super into that.
I went straight from the Backstreet Boys to Rascal Flatts.
Those harmonies you just couldn't get away from, could you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So kind of a little bit of everything for us, and kind of you hear that in a bit of our music, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, we like to pull things from like we do like some heavier like rock stuff in our sets to like super poppy stuff, and then just kind of whatever's in between, train beats, the whole thing.
Now I'm curious, has Nick been able to work the Backstreet Boys to Rascal Flatts melody in yet?
Listen, I certainly have. If you listen to Missing Your Love, a lot of that was me trying to sneak my rascal flatty way in.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah. We always try and put little things, little elements of ourselves in the songs too, which is kind of funny.
Well, I love that, and it's kind of unique that all three of you, and I'm guessing the rest of the crew too, has such a kind of eclectic mix. How does now? I guess the other question is clearly Tanner. I get you being country guy, but the other, Graeme, you weren't exactly country. How'd you get involved in a country band?
Well, me and Tanner grew up together in Chilliwack, and Chilliwack is a pretty country town. Like, our high school had a drive your tractor to school day. Like, it was pretty country.
Yeah, it was sick.
And then after me and Tanner played music in high school and stuff. Did a lot of drumline, and then after I went to university and Tanner went to New York for school. And then when he came back, he was like, "Hey, let's play some country music." And I was like, "Okay." And then I really started listening to country, and now I just I can't stop. It's all I listen to.
It's infectious, man.
Yeah, it is
infectious. It gets in your blood, gets in
Yeah.
your bones, man. You can't get away from it.
Now, Nick, were you hoping to eventually maybe be a Backstreet Boy one day, and this is what you had to settle for?
Listen, when I was in high school, I tried my best. Didn't have the looks for it, but
You'll get there, man.
yeah, thanks. I'm still hoping one day. Just kidding. I'd rather be a rascal flatter though.
You do have the country boy look.
Well, I mean, there's actually kind of a funny story with Nick. We were at the BC Country Music Awards last year, and we were up for Group of the Year against Washboard Union, a couple of the big artists. And this guy, we didn't know who he was. He walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, I hear you're looking for a guitar player, man. I want to be in your band. I'm the dude." And I was just like, well, "This guy's confident. All right."
I may have been a little drunk.
A little drunk, yeah.
That happens.
But we
Hey,
tried
that's
him
the
out, and
best
now here
kind.
we are. Oh yeah.
But it worked out. He showed up and he was like, we're like, "That's our guy." It was sick.
Well, and now it's all working together. Now, I believe, Tanner, you also, while you loved country, I think you liked some rock and roll too, because Kiss was one of the first concerts you went to. I've seen the Kiss shirt on Instagram and everything.
The cutoff T-shirt, yeah. That was actually, fond memories of that. My first ever arena kind of show I ever went to was Kiss, and Graham's first arena show.
I can't believe, was it the same show? Was it in Vancouver? Did you see
Yes.
the band? Dude, I was there. I was 10. That's cool. I didn't know that.
So we didn't know each other yet. We were at the
That's
same concert,
so
maybe.
funny,
That's
man.
kind of sick.
That's actually hilarious. That makes sense, I guess. Where else would you have seen it? Maybe Seattle? That's crazy.
I don't know.
So, any influence of Kiss in your music then?
We don't really have the face paint going on yet.
Nah,
but-
not yet. Not yet. It's coming. It's
but
coming.
That could be pretty fun.
Halloween
actually.
show.
Yeah.
Halloween show, right?
There you go, yeah.
I really want to do a
Halloween show.
spooky one where Tanner does a Dracula voice the whole time.
Yeah, we wanted to play countries top 40, but all in Dracula outfits, and we want to sing like Dracula.
Yeah.
So
I think
maybe
that'd be perfect at the end of October. I mean,
October.
You really only get
31st.
one shot to do it, so you gotta seize that opportunity.
now I was going to ask this maybe a little later, but it seems fitting right now. Clearly, y'all get along well and never like to have fun. So, how much of an actual true brotherhood is the group?
This is something we talk about so much. I'm glad that you're bringing this up. We don't consider ourselves just a band. We're not just a band. We're five brothers who just we fight. We hate each other. We love each other so much. We mess around. Somebody gets drunk. You're holding back their mullet so it doesn't get in the puke. That's classic. But,
I feel attacked for that
yeah,
one.
that's on you for sure. But no, it's definitely a brotherhood. We're inseparable and spend 80% of our time together. And we're not at the bus level yet, but we're in little tiny vans and pickup trucks all together, squeezed in there. And
Oh yeah,
So clearly you're
Getting nice and
close.
stinky.
Literally.
really close.
literally close. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, and that we it shows on stage too. I think our on stage chemistry is super good, and I think it really adds to our live show, which is so much fun.
Well, and I was going to say, when you think about music and everything, is music something you guys grew up wanting to do, play, things like that, or did that come later in life?
I think that was kind of always like a. I mean, I can't speak for the other guys on that, but for me, like I've been playing piano since I was little, and it's always been like a side kind of project. My grandpa was a musician and kind of taken after his footsteps, but I was mostly like sports, lacrosse, hockey, football, that kind of stuff growing up, and just kind of evolved. I think we got a little older, and I was just like, oh, my body can't handle being a athlete anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like I've always played music. I never really thought it was going to be like a career. I don't think. I mean, my parents were always like, go to school, and then I just went to school for music. So then I guess that's kind of like going all in. So, yeah.
Well, I think the other three guys, you guys were kind of like
I
not
was a
sporty
band
dudes.
nerd.
Yeah, you're band nerds growing up.
Yeah.
Thought I was going to be a jazz pianist.
Yeah, but then you found out you make more money drinking beer and playing country music.
Yeah, had more fun too.
Yeah, way more fun.
What it was.
You had to look for it as well, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was an easy transition.
Yeah, my mother wasn't super happy about it, but you live and learn.
I mean, you're still a really good pianist, so at least you always have that.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can feel the love right now.
I could fall back on making $20 an hour playing at a jazz piano lounge.
There you go. Or an airport or something.
And Tanner, you and Graeme, actually, like you said, you guys did grow up. You guys, pretty much started all this back in high school, somehow, some way.
Yeah, I mean, Graeme and I, we met in high school, and we were in, jazz band together. We were in drumline.
Drumline was the big one for like performances.
Yeah,
Like, we did a lot of stuff. We did like the Olympics. We did like Seahawks games. We'd go down to Seattle. We like did like Macy's Day parades and stuff. We did a lot of like stuff in the States, which is super cool. And it, like, it was really
I mean, that was
performance-driven.
also where we kind of like Graeme and I we played like a couple arena shows with our like drumline when we were like grade 11. So we got that like stepping out, and like shout out to Sarah McLaughlin for bringing our
we were on
Sarah McLaughlin band. Like I've known Sarah for quite a while, and she's just the best human ever. And she gave us the opportunity and brought our drumline out to her like arena show, and we opened.
Just
The show for her, and it was just like, dude,
it was pretty
wild.
rad. It was sick.
It
Yeah,
was
it was
sick.
cool.
Yeah. So that was our first like little experience walking out to like thousands of people, and we were just like freaking out. We're like,
Dude, we did.
oh,
Well, we
man.
did they brought me down like at the Seahawks game, and there was like 60,000 people there, and they were
On
like,
field,
they were like, play a
yeah.
drum solo. And I was like, easy, just hit it.
Yeah, man, it's
So-
been crazy. We've had a wild ride with that stuff. Our experiences with shows and kind of crazy stuff, and now kind of evolving it into this TOB sort of thing that we've got going on. It's been amazing.
Well, and I was going to add to that because, you mentioned you grew up in high school. You guys did your separate things kind of at college and so forth, but you came back together. And was it really 8 shows in 3 days at a county fair that made this all seem like a good thing to go after?
Oh man, not at the time, for sure not. It was brutal. It was grueling. It was like I kind of hated it after that because I was just like I was bagged. Like my fingers were hurting, bleeding. Like I hadn't had calluses on my fingers for a while, so like my fingers were bleeding and my throat was hurting. I was like, dude, I don't know how people do this thing, man. Like, but
Those are early days.
Those are early days back in like. 20s.
I wasn't even there for the first that first weekend. I was like I was busy or something. Tanner was like, "Oh, can you play the show?" I was like, "I don't know, no, no, dude, I got other stuff."
Yeah.
But he let you come back, and now and
He did
and
let
now
me
you're-
come back.
You're full time.
Yeah,
Yeah, inseparable now.
And you were doing a lot of this during COVID too. So how weird of a journey was it to be playing and trying to make a band work during those times? Especially, I know in Canada things were a lot more strict for a little while longer and things like that. So I'm guessing it was not the easiest start for all this.
Well, I mean, we were, back when COVID kind of started back in 2020, we were coming off of like some award-winning kind of years, and we were kind of getting a lot of traction. We were starting to build ourselves up as like a household name and getting a lot of big shows and starting to dive into the festivals and getting our way onto like jumping on some tours and such. And then COVID hit, and it just ruined our chances. So we went back to being nothing, So like that was detrimental for us because we weren't anything back then. It just hit us back a peg. But we kind of came together and we were like, you know what? Just because this pandemic doesn't mean we can't do shows. So we did everything. We did like 3 or 4 shows a week online.
I think we did like 30 Instagram lives. We did like a live stream every month, like a full production one. We did like YouTube content stuff.
Well, yeah, because we were averaging like 150 shows a year still during those COVID years. And yeah, they were like onlines or they were like socially distanced. Like I remember this one, we did a show out in the country in Chilliwack back in our hometown at a brewery. We were out perched up on a flat deck trailer 20 feet back from people, and they were all in their little like picnic tables 6 feet apart with these plastic partitions everywhere.
Yeah, it's plexiglass.
Yeah. And then like us on stage, we had these like stand-up partitions on the stage.
Yeah, because
like,
we can't get
we can't get each other. Like it was weird, man. I don't know.
I mean, we made it. We did what we could though, which was cool.
Yeah.
I think it was hard for just the music scene in general, especially like live music venues and stuff. There's already not a whole lot up in British Columbia anyway, and it was pretty tough to see a lot of them struggling for those years.
But you guys were able to come out on the other side, and things are looking up. Like you said, you were just at some award shows and things like that, and still to get those honors and after everything you put in, how rewarding is that? Because like you said, you guys had, like a lot of other folks, you were on your way up, everything shuts down, things change, but to see the hard work again be rewarded has got to be pretty special.
Oh, I mean, coming out of the COVID thing, I think, was it 2021 was our first award we won?
Yeah, math is really hard for
we
me.
won
That's
the
not my
BC Country
struggle.
Music Award for Emerging Artist of the Year that year, kind of near the tail end of COVID, and that kind of propelled us back into being relevant. And I mean, like you said, it hit everyone in the whole world real hard, and it was tough on a lot of folks with their jobs and their lives and such. But us as musicians, yeah, it definitely took a toll, but we came out of it on top, I guess.
Yeah, and it's nice to see now because like now when you go to live shows, like I feel like people before COVID kind of took live shows for granted, and so now when you go to like a concert, like everyone's going crazy, like it's awesome.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I think coming out of COVID, especially like you said, because Canada had some terrible.
But yeah,
I mean, maybe that's
Yeah.
not the right language to use, but more
some aggressive, extreme lock
restrictions. That I think people definitely in Canada really felt like, oh, we're sort of unleashed again.
Yeah.
We can go see things, and
Yeah.
the appreciation for that live setting really sort of took off a little bit, and it's starting to wane down back to normal levels now. But there was a while where people were going ham at our shows and stuff, and it was great.
Yeah.
Well, and for this group of 5, and Nick, you just joined up a year ago, is that right?
Year and a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think your first show was like July 1st last year.
It was July 1st.
There you go.
So how I mean, obviously you might have had some liquid encouragement. What made you decide to walk up to them and be like, "Hey, I can play"?
Well, so I had previously had a country band before that, and my guitar player had subbed for a few gigs for their old guitar player,
Which is also your best friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's also my guitar player is also my best friend, and so we played together in a country band, and then he comes up to me and he was like, "Dude, you have to join these Tanner Olsen Band guys. They're looking for people, and we're the dudes for it." And I went, who are these Tanner Olsen Band guys? And I looked up the music, and I was like, all right, this sounds like a thing I should join. And then, like Tanner said, I went up to them at the BC Country Music Awards, not sober, and asked if I could join. And then the two of us joined at the same time. And what a pairing. Now it's just it was me and him, like we were quote unquote the boys before. Now it's the boys.
Oh, Hallmark card moment right there. But I mean, for Tanner, as you think back on how kind of crazy it is for the group to change as it's gone on, and you and Graeme kind of were there at the start, and now you've got all these new faces. Is it weird to kind of weave in everyone and also get lucky enough to be around people you really do consider good friends and like brothers?
Yeah, it's been a long road for Graeme and I, especially. Like, we've been through quite a few different artists and musicians in our group. Like, just sometimes things don't work out. We've had a couple guys that, life happens. They got to move on. They get houses and wives and whatnot, and the music industry is not for everybody. So, like, we get it. So we've lost some great dudes that we loved and we grew up with. Like, our band originally was all Chilliwack boys, and just life happened and brought in some other guys, and some people didn't work out. So we had to do that hard decision of, letting some guys go, just because, like, we prided ourselves in harmonies, and like, that's the biggest thing for us is, like, I want 5-part harmonies. Like, we wanted this whole like bringing that Backstreet Boys, bringing those like boy band things into this whole thing. From the get-go was like the big thing for us. And then when we brought these guys in, all 5 of us just started singing together, and just that brotherhood formed. And it's just been this crazy, like, I can't even explain it. It's this on stage. You see our live shows, you'll see it. It's wild, man.
Yeah, that's why Nick was really stoked to join.
I was gonna say he's like it's destiny.
Yeah,
it's
he's
meant
like,
to be.
Yeah, man. Right
Somebody
place,
say
right time.
Backstreet Boy?
Yeah.
And you mentioned like you all play instruments, but you can harmonize, and you really don't see that in like a 5-piece band ever. Why was that something you wanted to do?
I mean, growing up, Graeme and I were in a couple of vocal groups. We were in vocal jazz together, so we got our first kind of like insight into like what harmonies really were. So like you'd hit those 3-4 part harmonies, and it was just mind blowing. Like, I'd look back and I'm like, wow, like that just, it shakes you. It makes you shiver.
Yeah, Tanner was a big acapella guy.
guys did vocal
I know,
jazz?
dude. I joined vocal jazz because it was like during the time when like Glee was out and Pitch Perfect, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is the cool thing to do.
Tell me there are videos of you guys.
There
doing
are.
vocal
There are
jazz.
lots of
there are.
videos. I don't want to show those yet, but maybe one.
Early
day.
acapella.
I feel like Nick is gaining so much knowledge on this that he's like, well, we're gonna have
Dude,
fun
we were in a
one night
barber
going
shop
down that
one time.
rabbit hole.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, we like Graeme and I. We competed in vocal jazz competitions, and we started our own quartet this one time. There's 4 of us, him, me, and myself, and a couple buddies, and we sang the Anchorman song when they do the
Afternoon Delight.
Afternoon
Dude, we
Delight.
heard that in the
So we
store
did that.
today.
We dressed up in our high school's like talent show, and the 4 of us dressed up in suits, all different colors, and we did it like verbatim, top to bottom.
Yeah.
And dude,
Great scene. Great.
all the
harmonies,
girls
yeah.
went crazy for the harmonies. So we were like, dude, there's something with harmonies that makes people lose their mind.
Yeah.
So we're like, we need to
Keep
bring
it going.
that
Keep
into
it
the
going.
country scene, and let's just propel that to success, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it seems to be working out perfectly well for y'all. Your latest release is Backroad, and I feel like it has a little bit of maybe that rock background that you all love. Can you tell us a little bit about how that one came to be?
Yeah, I mean, we always go through these like songwriting sessions, and we write 3-4 times a week as a group and with other songwriters. So we have a lot of songs coming in and out of the group, and I always challenge these guys to write on their own, and let's come up with your ideas and what do you feel in life? Like, bring those things, because other people are feeling those. So Nick actually wrote Backroad, and he brought it to the group and said, like, I wrote this a while back. It's like this gritty, down-home, like country back road drinking song, and I was like, dude, that's what I grew up on. Let's do this. We listened to it. It was perfect, so we just honed it in and got her in the studio, and so
You're
credit
like,
Nick on
I
that.
like drinking. I like Backroads. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Works out.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, Nick, on that song, what I'm guessing you're drawing inspiration from something or a story that you're wanting to tell from some point of view. What was it about that song that kind of spoke to you?
I would say, my parents are of Italian heritage, but there's something about moving to the city, and then me growing up there and coming away from, because when they were in Italy, they were very small town folks, and I realized it's not country music, but there is that mentality. And so for me, growing up in Vancouver, there was a part of me that always wanted to go, hey, let's get out of here. I want to be on the back road. And I played with some country artists very early on in my career, and they all lived in the country. And so going out and playing those shows, there was something that really drew me to that, and I had a lot of those experiences where I would just go out there and we would do all of the things that I say in the song and live that lifestyle is so much, to me, it's more appealing than anything that a big city has to offer. That Backroads lifestyle, drinking beers out in the country, you're just with your friends. There's no social pressures. There's no, you can come from any economic background, whatever. You just show up. You're driving down a back road. You're having fun and
crushing beers and hanging out with people. And,
yeah. And it's just that. That to me was just so appealing, and to have those experiences, I had to then, being the songwriter that I am, I had to then put that into song.
I love it, and Backroad has definitely got a different, I feel like, feel to it than a couple of the other ones you've released this year, Missing Your Love and Better at Being Me. So I'm guessing that's just you all kind of showing off the different sides of yourselves.
Yeah, I think we want to keep it. We've been told through our career, we've been told by different labels and management personnel and such that like, you got to stick to that mainstream thing, man, or like it's not going to sell. And for us, we were like, we don't really want that. We want to I want to show people who we are as a five. Like we're five totally different people coming from five different backgrounds, and I want to show that off. Like I don't think it has to be. You got to release pop country tunes all the time. Thinking too much and. That's our next song. It's
a little bit more poppy, but we
Missing Your Love and Backroad, we're very much driven towards the pop country, which we are.
Missing Your Love is for sure. Backroad's not really. Backroad's pretty rock.
You consider Hardy pop country?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but it's like we listen to different stuff. Like I'll listen to One Direction, and then I'll listen to Foo Fighters, and our guitarist Nick's best friend Adrian. Shout out Adrian. He's a big metal guy, and our bass player Brayson listens to pop and punk, and it's we all listen to kind of different music, but it's all this. It's you never listen to the same sound.
Well,
right?
I think a lot of it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
guys, but I think a lot of it stems from we're just, we want to play what sounds good, and sometimes what sounds good is not always the same thing.
Or what's fun to play, too.
Yeah, what's fun to play.
Backroad's a great song to play live. So fun.
Yeah. It's not a specific one narrow path down this particular thing that we have to do. It's let's do what sounds good, what feels good.
And what we like to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was going to say, you kind of touched on this as well. All five of you are able to bring something to the table. So that makes it very unique as well because... sometimes everyone's involved, but it may be one with the lyrics and the melody, then everyone kind of putting their pieces together. But for y'all, it really kind of is a true group effort when it comes to creating the song. So is it, you have, like you said, 5 different personalities coming together. That's got to be an interesting time, too, when you get pitched songs from each other. Is there ever a time where you go, hey, whoa?
I think so. Yeah, there's definitely Nick's probably one of the biggest songwriters in our group. He writes all the time and he'll pitch us things. I love Nick to death, but sometimes he'll pitch things. I'm like, bro,
that ain't it, man.
That ain't it. I love you to death, but that ain't it. That's not the thing. But yeah.
But you also write bangers, so
you also write great tunes too.
Yeah.
So I got to credit you for that. Yeah.
Nick, how does that make you feel that they do consider you a very good writer, but every now and then?
I don't doubt that sometimes I write absolute duds, and I think for me as a songwriter, I think we've been talking about this too, is just to get numbers. If we can meet several times a week and pump out songs, then we have numbers of songs. because of that, it means we actually want to cut about 5%.
And we're more likely to have better songs, yeah.
Yeah, we'll write 100 songs, and 4 of them will make the actual albums or things. So it's like it's a lot of time in and not a lot coming out.
But like you said, if the quality is there, then it's worth it in the end. And in addition to putting in the effort on the songs, you put the effort in on the live shows too. And how much fun are those for y'all, those live shows and being able to perform for folks?
It's the best part.
Well, yeah, so we've got this thing going on where we surprise a lot of people because like I feel like we get underrated a lot by most places that we get hired into because like maybe we don't have the best numbers on Spotify, maybe we don't have the most followers on Instagram, and that's true. And like it is what it is. We want to share our music with people, but you put us on a stage, man, and it doesn't matter what's going on anywhere in the world. It's going down where we're at. Yeah. Like we played there's a thing in Vancouver called the Pacific National Exhibition, the P&E for us. It's like our big county fair, state fair sort of thing. We played that a couple weeks back, and there's like this main stage, and then we were on a side stage outside of the main stage, and we were playing like a late show, so we'd play. And then the main stage would play, and then we'd go on after as people were, like, leaving to go home. And we played the first set, maybe had 200 people there. And then the main stage, I think it was Billy Idol. I think Billy Idol played. And then all of Billy Idol left the stadium and just flocked over to our stage because we were just like, you know what? We're going to play bangers only. Like
they did not want to leave.
They didn't want to leave, dude. We had, like, thousands of people at this weird little side stage. And the organizers came up, and they're like, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
And we're like, I don't know, man. We're giving the people what they want, man. Like, we go crazy. I don't know what to tell you. We got the whole crowd, like, jumping up and down. Like,
to country songs, too, even though they're going to a Billy Idol concert, and they show up, and they're like, oh, man, it's country, but they're just, like, going crazy.
We're playing boot scoot and boogie and stuff like that. And, like, we got the whole crowd dancing, doing line dance. And we're in Canada, man. Like, it's not traditionally a country.
It's a lot of energy.
It's energy. It's what we
bring.
It's
stage energy.
We bring this energy. We bring that brotherhood, and we show it on stage. We mess with each other on stage. We're throwing things at Graeme. Because Graeme's drumming, right? So he's got both hands working. So I'll walk back. I'll grab my beer, and I'll just dump it in his mouth while he's playing because he's getting parched out.
My cowboy hat's going on his snare drum.
Yeah,
the boy's got to drink. I don't know. I got to help him.
I was going to say, you're just being a good friend. You're being a very good friend.
I'll give him the nod. He'll look back. I'll be like, I need one.
and you talk about having fun and being able to perform different songs. What's y'all's favorite song to perform live? Maybe one of yours, and maybe because I know everyone always does have someone else's that they kind of always just enjoy. What's your favorite songs to get to share with folks?
Okay, I think we got to start out with our favorite cover of someone else's we like to play.
Okay, you want to go first?
Well, hold on.
I think we're going to have similar ones.
I think there's a general consensus with our band because there's this one song we play live, and shout out to a band called King Calloway. These guys, we've been loving them since day one. They're that like band mentality. They got a song called Rivers, and it just goes so hard in the chorus. These massive shots. We play that live, and we just like
it's got big vocals too.
Big vocals, shots. We just get so hyped. So shout out to those guys, those King Calloway boys. They're absolute beauties. But I think as far as like our songs go, so we've designed our show where it's tracked out, right? Like we've got it's set. So at the end of our show, we play Backroad, which Nick wrote. We just released that one. Goes great. It's got this beautiful transition into our song called Country on it. It's seamless transition. It doesn't stop. And then we go into this outro that we built with our buddy Ryan Stead. Shout out to him. He's helped us design this thing where it just
it's like a headbanger riff.
It's got that like Kiss rock thing where we end this show where we're just like I want people to remember this for like years, man. Like I want this to be memorable every show. And it's got this massive Kiss thing, and it's just got that like pyrotechnic like sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
And the best part of it is Country on it stops and we cut out and the track plays. And we designed this track, and it's like very just acoustic, beautiful. And then I told the guys, I was like, I don't know why, but I'm hearing seagulls, bro. Like I'm hearing like down at the ocean with your guitar, just like straight chilling, playing this beautiful riff. And then it just cuts into this massive Kiss-esque anthemic thing where we're just like headbanging the whole time out, and like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So that whole like paradox at the end there is just like our favorite thing for sure.
And it does confuse people because we cut out, seagulls come in, and then we come in again.
Yeah. It's awesome.
They're like, wait, is it done? Do I
Yeah.
leave? Do I stay? Oh, we stay.
Yeah, it's like this slow clap. They're like, I don't know what to do. But it's cool.
I like it. Keep them wanting more. Keep them confused, and then give them something great at the end. And obviously, we're getting close to the end of 2023, looking into 2024. What I know you got another song coming out here soon. What else can folks expect from you the rest of this year, heading into next year?
Yeah, we got a new song dropping October 6th.
Thinking too
called
much.
Thinking Too Much. That's, it's just kind of a song about you overthink things in life. Like you're thinking too much about a past relationship that makes you sad for some weird reason, and you're like, I don't know why I can't stop that. But so that's dropping, and then we got together and we wrote a Christmas tune.
Well, we also have Good Thing End dropping.
Oh, Good
at
Thing Ends
end of
before
October.
that.
I know.
Is that before Christmas
Dude,
song?
No, that's
October-
November
end of-
3rd.
Oh, November 3rd, Good Thing End.
That's
Good Thing
before
End.
Christmas song.
Yeah.
So that's another like pop country
knew
tune
that.
that we wrote with a buddy, Dawson Gray.
Dawson Gray. Shout out Dawson.
And we're stoked for that one to release.
It's a heater.
And then we've got this Christmas song that we wrote as a group. We thought it was just funny because we were like, you know what? How can we make a Christmas song that's not just like too chill? Because that's not really what we're about. So we wrote it in the perspective of like us five. We're elves working in Santa's workshop. And we're just like, man, we've been grinding all year, making these toys for all these children and whatever. And we're like, we just want to drink, man. Like, I want a day off to get drunk with the boys on Christmas. So we wrote this song called Drunk on Christmas. And we ended up, showing it to our people. And they were like, that's great. So
We're shooting the music video for that, or not music.
we got some
the
photos
cover art
and
for
the
that.
cover art
soon.
photo shoots tomorrow. So we went and got these like elf costumes. And we're just going to like, I think it's got to be authentic. We got to get the people that authentic
Yeah.
looks. I
So
think
we gotta
we
get
might
Nick-
just get really drunk.
And just walk around
And
in
just
elf costumes. and-
Pictures in elf
Yeah.
costumes.
And
We're going to be like downtown with
Yeah.
elf costumes, really drunk. People are going to be like, what the heck
Well,
are
the
these
thing is
country
too.
boys?
So they've got all these costumes, but I'm a very tall guy,
Oh, you'll fit.
and I'm very scared that this elf costume is.
The tights say
gonna
they
show
fit
a
all
little too
sizes.
much than it
No,
should,
they
you
say
know?
they fit all sizes, bro.
Yeah, it's all size, adult sizes. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll just be blurred out parts on the cover.
That's pretty funny, actually. We should just do
Nick's
that.
going to be all blurred out around the lower regions. It'll be great.
I'm a long boy.
I love, I love that, and since you guys are from British Columbia, I have to also ask this question because a group of us, we go on trips, and my wife and I and another couple went down to Patagonia. With those friends went with other friends to Hawaii, so we did a drawing, and somehow mine got picked. We're going to British Columbia next summer. Where do I got to go? Where do we got to go?
Oh, man.
Kelowna
you
and
going to
Whistler.
BC? No. Not
And we're
Kelowna.
going
What wrong with
more-
wait, when in the summer? In the summer?
in the summer.
You gotta go to.
We're
you gotta
looking
go
more
to the
toward
interior in the
Vancouver,
summer.
Vancouver Island. So
Okay.
Vancouver
Island's
Island's
good.
Tofino.
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 There's two spots you got to hit when you come. Tofino, like they said, it's an island paradise. There's surfing. It is the most beautiful beaches surrounded by. Because BC here, we're known for rainforest, man. You got these crazy trees and this rainforest, beautiful drive coming in.
And a lot of rain.
A lot of rain.
Summer should be fine though. Summer should be
But
fine.
the other place is Whistler, man.
Yeah,
Like, Whistler,
Whistler.
BC is kind of well known. There's lots of people from all over the world that are
In the
always up
summer?
there.
Well, they got the
Yeah.
dirt bike racing and stuff. I guess during the summer it's
Mountain
like
biking.
it's still pretty beautiful up there.
It's
You
gorgeous.
would do that over I don't know,
Kelowna?
and somewhere
Kelowna?
in the interior.
No, you don't want to go to the
Oh,
interior.
Soyuz?
Too hot.
It is pretty. Well, I mean,
too many. No, because they got fires usually in the summer.
yeah.
So like Vancouver area is the move. So Whistler, Tofino, those are your two go-tos, man.
all right, well, I'll have
Definitely
to put the
the-
wife on that.
Definitely Tofino.
She's been
Although-
planning it all.
If you
Yeah.
like cars, though, if you're into like racing and stuff, there's some good stuff in the interior.
Nick's a big car
I'm
guy.
a big car guy.
Don't go to the interior.
It's okay. We won't hold anything against you, Nick,
Yeah.
at all.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, this has been a absolute blast. I truly appreciate it. I've enjoyed finding your music. Backroad's a great song. You got some other great ones out there. And Tanner, Nick, Graeme, thank you for sharing a drink and your stories about everything with me.
Thank you, man.
Or
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
so much
us.
for having us. That was awesome.
Find more from Hops and Spirits at hopsspirits.com.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.